Have you ever said something to a woman and instantly seen her energy shift, either leaning in with curiosity or pulling back with disinterest? What if I told you there's something you can say, rooted not in manipulation or pickup lines, but in timeless Stoic wisdom that can stir genuine attraction and respect in almost any woman? Now, before you jump to conclusions, no, it's not a cheesy compliment, a suave pickup line, or anything fake. In fact, it might just be the most unromantic thing you've ever heard. But that's the point. When you understand what truly commands a woman's attention, what speaks to her soul, not just her senses, you step into a different level of presence. And in this video, we're going to break down exactly what to say, why it works, and how it ties into the ancient philosophy of Stoicism. Here's the truth. Attraction isn't just about looks, status, or smooth talk. Those things fade, but presence, conviction, and a calm, immovable spirit, that's magnetic. And there's a particular phrase, a way of speaking, that captures this perfectly. When you say it from a place of centered masculinity, no woman can ignore it. But before we get into the heart of this, take a moment to support this journey. You're not just watching a video, you're stepping into a mindset, a movement. If you're serious about becoming a stronger, more grounded man in your relationships and your life, then hit that subscribe button, tap like if you've ever felt confused by modern dating, and drop a comment letting us know your biggest challenge in romantic communication. And, of course, share this with a friend who needs to hear what we're about to unpack. Because what you say matters. But even more, how you say it and who you are while saying it matter more. Let's dive into the Stoic truth that, when spoken, changes everything. Let's begin with a foundational truth that Stoic philosophy teaches us. You are not in control of external outcomes, but you are absolutely in control of your internal responses. When it comes to relationships, especially attraction, most men fall into the trap of chasing approval. They try to say the right thing to get a woman's attention. They overthink their texts, their tone, their appearance, all in the hope of being chosen. But here's the paradox. The more you try to be chosen, the less you actually are. Why? Because you're giving away your power. You're signaling that your self-worth is dependent on her reaction, and no woman, especially a high-value, emotionally intelligent woman, is drawn to a man who seeks validation. Now, here's where we turn to Stoicism. The Stoics taught a concept called apatheia, a state of being unmoved by external praise or criticism. This doesn't mean being cold or robotic. It means being emotionally self-sufficient. Imagine a man who walks into a room not trying to impress anyone, not trying to convince or seduce, but simply being. He's calm, grounded, and clear in who he is. That man doesn't chase approval. He commands respect, and that's the essence of what we're talking about today. So, what is the thing you can say that no woman will resist? It's not a line, it's a principle spoken into a sentence. Ready? Here it is. I don't need you, but I want you. Let that land. I don't need you, but I want you. Why is this so powerful? Because it's rare. Most people come into relationships from a place of lack. They need love. They need validation. They need to be seen, admired, chosen. But when you speak from a place of wholeness, when your life is already rich with purpose, when your peace is intact whether she stays or goes, you no longer pursue love as a means of escape. You invite it as an addition to an already full life. This statement holds masculine polarity. It says, I have options, I have peace, I have purpose. I'm not seeking to complete myself through you, but I choose you because you align with what I value. It tells her that you are not emotionally needy, but emotionally available. that you're not desperate for intimacy, but open to connection. It says, I am enough, and I see you as someone who could walk beside me, not complete me. Let's break this down even deeper. The first half, I don't need you, communicates inner independence. A Stoic man understands that no external relationship can define or complete him. He values connection, but he does not become emotionally enslaved by it. This frees the woman. It takes pressure off her. She doesn't feel she's being clung to or idolized, and paradoxically, that space makes her lean in. The second half, but I want you, introduces choice. Not obligation, not dependence, desire in its purest form. It's one thing to be needed. Anyone can need someone. But being wanted by someone who doesn't need you, that's a rare and intoxicating form of validation. It says, out of all the things I could focus on in this moment, I choose you, not because I lack, but because I value what you bring. But, and this is key, you can't fake this. You can't just memorize the phrase and expect it to work. Women are intuitive. They can sense when it's performative versus when it's embodied. You must live this. You must actually build a life so full of meaning, habits, strength, and peace that this phrase becomes a reflection of your truth, not a manipulation tactic. So, how do you get there? You start with discipline. The Stoic man disciplines his time, his body, and his mind. He practices delayed gratification. He builds routines that ground him, not entertain him. He learns to sit in silence. He trains himself to respond, not react. And he observes himself constantly, not from judgment, but from awareness. He asks himself daily, am I living from ego or essence? Am I reacting from wounds or responding from wisdom? And when a woman enters his life, he doesn't abandon his frame to chase her. He welcomes her into the world he has created. She is not his oxygen. She is the scent of a flower in his already sunlit garden. The Stoic man does not say, what do I say to impress her? He says, how can I speak from truth, not insecurity? And when he says, I don't need you, but I want you, it's not a line. It's an invitation to enter something real. Now let's take this idea even further. Let's say you're dating someone and you feel that surge of anxiety. Is she going to lose interest? Should I text more? Should I act cooler? Should I do more to keep her engaged? That anxiety is a signal. It's a sign that you've placed your emotional equilibrium in her hands. That's your cue, not to chase, but to return to self. In that moment, remind yourself, I am the source, I am the constant, I am the peace. Whether she stays or leaves, smiles or ignores, it changes nothing in your inner world. You are rooted. That doesn't mean being indifferent. Stoicism is not about apathy, it's about intentional detachment. It means you care deeply, but you're not destroyed by outcomes. You give your best, but you don't fall apart if it's not reciprocated. When you show up this way with emotional sovereignty, you become irresistible, not because of your words, but because of your energy. Women are not drawn to lines, they're drawn to alignment. The alignment of your words with your actions, the alignment of your confidence with your calm, the alignment of your desire with your detachment. So yes, say the words, I don't need you, but I want you. But make sure those words reflect the life you're building. Let's now explore a few scenarios where this mindset transforms how you engage with women. Scenario 1, first date. Instead of trying to impress her with stories, you listen, you're present. You ask real questions, not filtered ones. And when she asks about your past, your plans, your purpose, you speak clearly. You don't exaggerate. You don't try to win her approval. You simply share. calmly, directly, with confidence. At the end of the date, instead of saying, "I hope I see you again," you might say, "I enjoyed this. I'd be open to meeting again, but I'm also clear on what I want. If you feel the same, great. If not, no hard feelings." That's powerful. Why? Because you're not needy. You're sovereign. Scenario 2, conflict or disagreement. Maybe she's upset. Maybe she's testing your emotional resilience. Instead of reacting defensively or trying to fix it instantly, you hold space. You listen, you breathe, and you respond with calm truth. You might say something like, "I hear you. I care about how you feel, and I also care about staying true to myself. Let's find a way to move through this with clarity, not chaos." That kind of response builds trust. It shows her that you can handle pressure without losing presence, and that's deeply attractive. Scenario 3, she pulls away. This is where most men lose themselves. The moment she becomes distant, they chase, they panic. But the Stoic man does the opposite. He notices but doesn't react. He remains grounded. He gives her space, not as a tactic, but as a truth. He reminds himself, "Her energy doesn't determine my worth. If she returns with clarity, beautiful. If she doesn't, he moves forward with peace." That's how you earn respect, and that's how you embody a presence that no woman can ignore. So let's bring this home. You now know the phrase, "I don't need you, but I want you." But more importantly, you understand why it works. Not because it's clever, not because it's some secret pickup line, but because it reflects the core of Stoic masculinity: detachment, presence, and purpose. Women don't fall for words, they fall for energy. And the energy behind this phrase is one of power, of calm leadership, of a man who doesn't seek love as a drug to numb his wounds, but as a mirror to deepen his clarity. And that's what makes you magnetic. Let me be clear, this isn't about manipulating attraction. It's not about playing hard to get or pretending you're above emotion. That's ego in disguise. This is about becoming a man who is so grounded in who he is, so full in his own life, that when he speaks, even softly, people listen. Women listen, not because he shouts, but because he doesn't need to. When you show up from this place, authentic, detached, yet deeply intentional, then yes, when you say, "I don't need you, but I want you," it will land with impact. It will move her, not because it flatters her ego, but because it speaks to her soul. So now the invitation is yours. Don't just memorize this line. Become the kind of man who can say it and mean it. Build a life that's so aligned with your values, so filled with purpose, that any relationship becomes a choice, not a rescue mission. Take this wisdom and live it. Let it shape the way you speak, walk, and connect, not just with women, but with the world. And if you found something valuable in this video, if it hit different, stirred something in you, gave you clarity, then make sure you subscribe to Stoic Pro. We're not just making videos, we're building a brotherhood of grounded, emotionally sovereign men. Hit that like button if this resonated. Drop a comment below sharing your favorite insight, or even the moment you realized you've been giving away your power. Let's build something real in the comments. And if you've got a friend who's constantly chasing, overthinking, or stuck in toxic patterns, send him this video. Be the one who helps him level up. Because when one man rises, we all rise. Stay grounded, stay focused. And remember, true strength doesn't chase, it chooses. Until next time, this is Stoic Pro, signing off.